Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we living. If you're still alive in your survivor pool, congratulations. It has not been an easy 3 weeks. Week 1 and week 3 really didn't have any heavy favorites. Week 1 saw a bunch of upsets. Week 3, some of you may have taken the Chargers and unfortunately lost because the Jaguars absolutely destroyed them. But let's take a look at the week 4 schedule. I am still alive. I barely survived in the first 2 weeks. Took a week 1 comeback by the Saints to beat the Falcons to stay alive. And then week 2, Denver just let the Texans hang around all game. I believe they were trailing after 3 quarters, but did finish with the victory. Finally had a chance to catch my breath, not sweat it out last week, this past Sunday, as I took the Cincinnati Bengals, who easily defeated the New York Jets. But let's take a look at the week 4 schedule and see who are some teams that we may look to take. So we got the Thursday night game, Miami at Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off their first win. Miami, the only undefeated team in the AFC. Tua, unclear if he'll play. Tough game to take. Sunday, we have a 9:30 a.m. Eastern time game in London, Minnesota at New Orleans. Minnesota has looked very good when they don't play on night primetime games. New Orleans, Jameis Winston has struggled of late. Cleveland at Atlanta. Cleveland could easily be 3-0, but Atlanta's offense has surprisingly done well. Mariota off to a good start. Cordell Patterson running like he was last season. Washington at Dallas. Carson Wentz coming off an awful start. And don't look now, the Dallas Cowboys have won 3 straight starts with Cooper Rush under center. Seahawks at Lions. Lions offense has looked great to start the year. Same old Lions, though, not able to win a game that they maybe should have won this past Sunday against the Vikings. Titans at Colts. 2 underachieving teams, but the Colts did have a big win against the Chiefs, albeit I don't know if they would have won if Harrison Butker had played for the Chiefs. Bears at Giants. I'm a Giants fan. Last night was rough. Definitely should beat the Bears, as the Bears are just afraid to put the ball in Justin Fields' hand to throw the ball. But, the Giants barely eked out their first 2 games. Jaguars at Eagles. Eagles, the only undefeated team in the NFC, have looked awesome, but Jaguars look like a whole different team without the stench of Urban Meyer coaching the team anymore. Jets at Steelers. Could Zach Wilson return? Even if he does, that doesn't necessarily change the outlook. Tough game to pick. Bills at Ravens, probably the game of the week. Bills coming off a loss in which they easily out-yardaged the Miami Dolphins, but all that matters is what happens in the win-loss column. Bills got their first loss. Ravens could be undefeated if not for a huge letdown in week 2 against the Dolphins. Chargers at Texans. You would think the Chargers would be a good pick, but they are just riddled with injuries, including Joey Bosa's out, Rashawn Slater now out for the season, and Justin Herbert isn't 100% with the ribs injury. Cardinals at Panthers. Cardinals been one of the league's biggest disappointments. Baker Mayfield has struggled mightily in his first 3 games with the Panthers. Patriots at Packers, the one game that looks absolutely one-sided this week, especially with Mac Jones out. Brian Hoyer will likely begin the start. I hope we get to see Bailey Zappi. Loved watching him in college. Broncos at Raiders. Broncos offense has looked atrocious. Russell Wilson not paying dividends yet. The only 0-3 team left in the NFL, though, is the Las Vegas Raiders. Very good Sunday night game. Chiefs at Buccaneers. Mike Evans he will be returning after his 1-game suspension. Tom Brady had very little to throw to besides Russell Gage on their loss to the Packers last Sunday. And the Monday night game, the Rams at the 49ers. 49ers offense looked awful in their Sunday night game against the Denver Broncos. One of the ugliest games of the season thus far. So Honestly, I have to take the Packers. When I first looked at the Week 4 schedule, I'm like, that's pretty much the only game I fully feel confident in. And I know it's hard because some of you may have taken the Packers against the Bears. We know Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. Packers defeated the Bears in Week 2. If we look at the biggest spreads for Week 4, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, the Packers easily have the biggest spread at being favored by 10.5 points. After that, the biggest spread is actually the Philadelphia Eagles, favored by 6.5 against the Jaguars. And then after that, the Lions are favored by 4.5 against the Seahawks, and the Chargers are favored by 4.5 against the Texans. But again, the Chargers just have so many injuries that it's hard to take them. Lions, Detroit could always Detroit. So not an easy week. If I didn't have the Packers, I would really have a tough time deciding. But let me know in the comments, who are you taking in Week 4 Survivor if you're still alive? Even if you're not alive, who would you take? Interesting week. Let's hope we could get through get to Week 5. Still a part of the Survivor pools that we are in. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.